Hello, everybody. Welcome to Kubewarden Community Hours, our office hours also. This is our meeting for September. Today is September 4th. So welcome, everybody. I will be your host, Victor. We also have right now in the call GsoC, which is one of the maintainers.
Hello, hello.
And let's see what we have for today. Let me share the screen. Okay. For today, we have a recap of 128 release, which we did in August. We have a little demo, no, for Howler. And then, yeah, some talks about the major changes to policies, some policies, and 2 new policies. And then, yeah, a shout out to Google Summer of Code, because this week, basically until the 8th of September, we have the final sprint. So yeah, that would be it. That would be the agenda for this meeting. As always, if you are listening to this later on recorded on YouTube, for example, or things like that, yeah, feel free to add any topics to the agenda that you would like to talk about. Feel free to come on to these meetings and also review the agendas of previous meetings and so on. This document is always public, and we're welcoming suggestions and topics. Okay. So with that said, yeah, on 128 we added Howler manifest. No, we are shipping a Howler manifest. You maybe are asking yourself, what is Howler? So Howler is an open source project that basically allows us to simplify the air gap experience. It just provides some manifests, some YAML manifests that, of course, can be interfaced via Kubernetes, but also can be used with their own CLI. And basically, it allows to collect all the artifacts and also verify them, no? If I remember correctly, Jose?
Yeah, it can we can define in the manifest container images or OCI artifacts in our case as the policies. You can define Helm charts. You can define files. Yeah. So there is many things that you can define in the manifest to be stored and then move it to somewhere else. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, and for validation, it uses Sigstore, which is also what we use. So everything that is signed via Sigstore and cosign and things like that gets automatically validated. And it provides a local store, no? This local store, it's just a little database, no, with all these files, and then you can create an archive in the sense of like a archive file, a tar.gz or things like that, and then you can move that file across the air gap, and then install and upgrade your system with that copy of your artifacts.
Yeah, exactly.
For that, we added some docs on how to, well, maybe Jose, maybe it makes sense if I just quickly show our own Howler manifest.
Yeah, sure.
So for example, here in the releases, if we take the latest release of one chart, no, it's going to have here the assets. And here there's a Howler manifest, and you can just download it. I'm afraid that if I do this, then yeah, it's going to be here. It's quite verbose in a way, but I think it's a good thing, no, that it's verbose.
Yeah.
We can see.
We can. Sorry, go ahead.
No, please.
No, I was just about to say that this manifest covers all the assets required to run Kubewarden, which includes the Helm chart themselves, of course, the policy images and container image that you use to run the Kubewarden, and also our dependencies Helm chart, like the open report, if you want to use it. It will be saved there as well. So it's a complete environment backup, I would say.
Indeed. Here we are using the charts that come from charts Kubewarden.io. We could also use the the ones that come now from GitHub container registry and so on. But yeah, this is how a holder manifest looks like. With that said, and after seeing the holder manifest, we can look at the new docs for installing with holder. And yeah, here we have nice docs. I think that GsoC, you also contributed these ones.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can see the specific steps to do, like downloading all the artifacts, which verifies them, and then creating the tarball, and then transferring the tarball, and then moving those things to a private registry, and then installing Kubewarden. Looks somewhat not complex, but with some steps. I would like to do a little demo there. It's actually quite easy because I was testing this locally, and you can see that I have already the holder CLI. And with this holder CLI, I can just do holder store sync of our manifest, and it will download all the images and verify them. You can read here that it says, for example, I'm just looking at this, killer signature verified for image, blah, 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 and so on. And then if we would have, let's pretend that we have a cluster. On the right side would be a different machine, and that would be the airgap system, no? And right now I'm just creating a mini cube that can access the host, because I'm pretending that it's an airgap system and it can access an airgap OCI registry and so on. So once we have the holder sync done, we can, for example, create, it would be in this case creating, in this case would be this, which would be creating saving the store to the archive, then loading the store in the airgap system, and then copying that store into an airgap registry. We are not going to do that, but yeah, it's pretty straightforward. And once we have that, we can just see how to install, in this case, Kubewarden. And it's pretty simple. For our case, would be obtaining the Helm chart Kubewarden CRDs for this specific holder registry. Maybe I need to start here the registry from holder, which would be our airgap registry. And once it's serving, yeah, we can just obtain the specific artifacts from there. For example, we have already installed our CRDs, or in this case, installing our controller and related things. Maybe if I do this, it's gonna show faster, that we are installing the needed bits. And yeah, once it's running, I can just move to the last part of our stack here, which is in this case our Kubewarden defaults, which adds also the policy server default. And if we look at our cluster admission policies that get installed by default, oh, I forgot to enable the default policies. I forgot exactly what was the values. I think it was recommended policies enabled true, but yeah, it's the same, no?
Yeah, that's the thing.
Enable or enabled? I think it's enabled.
Enable it.
Okay.
Yeah, enable too.
Maybe I need to not do an install, but do an upgrade, which showcases how, yeah, there it is. And you can see that we are just downloading them from the system default registry that we have set up, which is the one inside of the airgap. And yeah, there they are. And momentarily they should be enabled and working. I've seen that some people have joined, but sadly they have not asked questions. I see also Robert, who is around.
Sure.
Nice to have you, Robert.
Sir, I actually have a few questions, if I may. One, I'm looking for an up-to-date architectural diagram. There is one in our docs. Is that one up to date and nice? So if you go to our docs, I think it's under explanations, architecture.
Yeah, good point. It's not particularly this one, no?
See. Is this up to date with the latest from the 1.28 of Kubewarden on how it's going to work and flow through here?
It is, in a way. I mean, this is the basics, no, the concepts on how Kubewarden works. But for example, I think we have not mentioned policy groups and things like that. There's no big change there. But yeah, now that you mention it, refreshing the architecture plus refreshing maybe the landing page, it's something that we have had in the back of our minds, and maybe we should tackle it.
Yeah. Well, Jose, if I get time with you, can I do a one-off with you? I'll get up early in my morning to find some time to update what this looks like. Is that okay with you?
Yeah, I will not be able to do that today, but maybe we can do that tomorrow.
Not today. No, it's late for 1, and I know you're busy, but let me find some time, Jose.
Okay.
Or Jose or Victor, and see if we can figure out how to. I'd like to update it and then put some content around what that looks like. That's my first question. Second question: in updating docs, there's one of the how-tos needs to be updated for installation, and then I was going to do that, but should I handle that for all versions or just the latest version? Because we, for the Linux install, we can do a brew or you can do zipper install.
Okay, I suppose you mean this page, no? For KWCTL?
Yep.
And I suppose you mean how to contribute, no, to the docs?
Yeah. How do you guys handle? So if I want to update this, it goes to. I mean, if it effectively applies to all, should I just do my change in all the subversions or just the latest? How do you guys want me to handle that? You know, as you know, someone new coming in trying to update the docs.
That's a super good question. Jose, would you like to give it a try? And if not, I can try to find a page here.
Yeah.
I was just going to update the 1.28 install since it's the latest, and I know it works. It's actually I can go back to 1.23 because Kubewarden or Kwctl has been in zipper since 1.23. I can update it manually through all of those and then do a PR for that if that's okay.
Okay,
Yeah,
I found this. Which is not particularly, it's a bit scant. It just points to what needs to be done. Yeah, so maybe we should document this. So here on the bottom, now we have this button for edit this page, which, as you are saying, if you click on any page and edit this page, it's going to edit the docs, but it's going to edit the version of that doc. So imagine that you edit this version 128. And as you can see here in the docs, here we have all the versions that we are currently serving. If you edit the version 128, what happens when we do a release is that we cut a release also of the docs, and what was in next becomes the next version. So if you have edited 128 for 129, that edit will not be there, which is a bit not nice. No, I mean, it's a pity.
But so we can edit this directly. No.
If you click on next and move to next, which is not the default because we serve 128. If you click on next and then edit this page, then it will edit the main docs content. And then once we cut a release, it will be part of the new release. And for subsequent releases, it will also be part there. If you want to backport that docs thing, we can do that, or we can mention that on the PR and then say, hey, can you just also do the changes for the version docs, because there's here docs and version docs that just get archived and served.
Yeah, I was about to say that usually people change the main one, the next one, and then during the review process, we ask it, hey, can you please backport this for X version? And that's it. There is no actual policy defined.
Yeah, and maybe, and I'm not being critical of the team. Maybe we should define it, because I was
Yeah.
looking at it this morning and going, oh, I noticed that the docs are not updated. I started looking at it as a new user coming in to update to the docs, and I was confused. So it was just happenstance that the meeting was here and now. So, okay, let me construct a PR, and I will put that through for both next 128 all the way down to 123. I can just put them in all of those, and then I can add that because I know we go back that far.
Sounds good.
Okay.
And yeah, your point is a good one. I'm gonna open an issue on the docs. I'm missing a bit of words. I just wanna, I think to not forget it.
All right.
Good enough. We're in the middle of the office hours, so with this is enough. We can put the to be refined, and we will get to it.
Sure. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, but good one. Do we have Robert? Do you have anything else in mind?
No. My
Let's for this topic.
architectural, yeah. So I was trying to fix the docs because we now provide Kwctl through Zipper. So if you're an OpenSUSE user or a Sledge user, you can use Kwctls available through OBS, and you can just install it directly. And so yeah, I actually maintain that over there in OBS for us. And so I just want to update the docs to make sure people who are using OpenSUSE, they know that it's there, or anybody who can just, it's just showing awareness that it is an option. 1, 2, I'm looking to put together some more content around Kwctl, and I just generally pull it from the docs. So if I am asking for, specific things, there's short form videos that I'm trying to put together to create some awareness about how the project operates and what it works on.
That sounds great. I suppose the usual tutorials for Kwctl would be a nice start and things like that. That reminds me of a card that we have open, to be honest.
If you do, can you tag me and set card, please?
Yeah, there's one that we were wanting to work on this specific milestone, and it's about yeah, this one. Maybe it's a bit unclear right now, but I can just tag you. It's about using, so you do a Helm template first of a Helm chart, which gives you all the templates, with whatever values you want to test against. And then you would do a Kwctl scaffold admission request of all those templates to get a mission request that that are kind of like what would go against the Kubernetes API. So what Kubewarden would just check against. And then once you have that, you do a Kwctl run against some policies. So basically, it's a way of testing Helm charts with Kwctl and Kubewarden against a set of policies, but without needing a cluster, without needing much of a setup.
Can you just tag me in that one, and then Vic, we'll put some time. I think it's assigned to you currently, isn't it? Or is it, if it's assigned to you, yeah, I'll get some time with you. Because this is just on my list of starting to put together some content.
Perfect. We can talk about it as usual.
Let's see. What is the CVE?
Okay, so I suggest then, if we don't have any more topics, let's do a quick recap of 128. And yeah. So on that topic, 128. So we have talked about Holder and a little demo. And then on the 128 release, we had several changes. We had here several bumps of policies. We had a major bump of env-variable-policy policies and trusted-repos policies. That means backwards incompatible, but adding new features. In this case, for environmental variable policy, we have a new release 3 And totally, I've forgotten what we added here. Ah, yes. I think we added these two new criteria. So basically, this environmental variable policy is going to check what kind of variables envars are there, and you can just have several criteria to check against. And for this, for adding this criteria, we also took care of separating the logic side of this into a different subcrate. This is written in Rust, but yeah, a different library. So we can reuse this library for different things. And in that sense is why we have the new policies. In this case, labels policy and an annotations policy. If you want to check against having a specific set of labels or not having that set of labels on only those or not those or any of those, but those kind of things, you can now do that with this labels policy, and the same for the annotations. Just annotations policy. You cannot check. You can check for the presence of this kind of annotation, but not the value that it's set off, nor mutated right now. We have thought about those things. There's an issue open. We have had already people in the community and users that want to check those things. So yeah, if you have ideas or you have any use case for those kind of things, please get in contact or join us here, for example. And yeah, I'm going to move now to the next things on policies. And we also had a major bump of the trusted repos policy. I don't remember exactly what we did here.
We improve how we check for the container images, like when you use just the name, you validate against all the tags and Docker Hub registry and this kind of thing. There is improvements around that.
Yep, good point. If I remember correctly, yeah. For example, in the past we kind of like expected a full OCI URL for an image. And now an OCI can be, it's cut between the registry, the repository, and the tag. And now you can just pass, for example, a repository in this case. So if you want to allow nginx, that means that you're allowing nginx whatever tag, and also it's implicit in this case the default registry. Same for reject. If you want to reject this ATCD image, then you are rejecting any possible tag coming from this specific repo. Of course, other repos, it's not the case. But you can just mix and match in this because you can put several registries that you allow and then several images that you allow or reject and things like that. And last but not least, we had a bunch of patch releases for Kwctl. This happened on the 127 patches, no, but they are included in 128. And yeah, it was changes to bug fixes on this kind of commands, scaffold admission request and run for policy groups and spec mode. All of this is on the blog post. And also we had the usual maintenance bumps. And last but not least, again, in this case, we had a tinygo bump. And if I remember correctly, GsoC, yeah, it was for supporting Go.
Yeah, because our automated the maintenance updates are trying to bump for Go 1.25, which means that we need to bump the Go linter as well to a new version that supports 1.25, and then to to allow us to build the policy with the latest Go, we need to bump tinygo as well. So there is a bunch of maintenance updates everywhere in the policy that is written in Go to bump Go, bump the linter, and bump the tinygo to allow the build of the policy. So yeah, everything is related, orbit the Go 1.25 update.
Right.
Yeah.
The pass of time. But this is only for building new policies, no? In a way, if you have the policy built already in WASM, it's going to keep running forever, fine.
Yeah. As we always want to update everything, that's required for us. But if you don't want to bump, that's fine. You don't need to worry about that. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, there was other maintenance bumps. Maybe the blog post has some notice there. I don't remember exactly what.
I don't remember on top of my mind because this is the biggest one and more that require more time to do. But we bump everything basically all the time, so we should be using everything latest and greatest version in our policies and major repositories. Yeah.
Good point there. And also the policies now in the WebAssembly host virtual machine. So even if you don't bump it, there's no need. It's not like there's a security issue there. But yeah, for us, it's nice. We get new functionalities from libraries and things.
Yeah.
And as a last topic, I then proposed the Google Summer of Code final sprint. I'm tempted on opening, in this case, we have our new policy SDK, which basically has been worked on and fleshed out now. Now it's looking quite good. Of course, we need to still do a full release and so on, but yeah, it's an iterative process. So many thanks, GsoC. GsoC has worked with us on the Google Sound of Code. Apart from the SDK, he also has created, I don't see a link here, but I can open the template.
Yeah.
He also has created this JavaScript policy template that one can reuse in GitHub by using the template button. Also, there was a demo policy. I'm not sure if I have it. No. I'm not sure if I'm going to find it right now. Maybe not. Well, the demo policy is part of the SDK because it's testing as end-to-end test, no?
Yeah.
It's been quite fun. It's been quite productive. There's, of course, always more work to do in the sense of one just finds things to do. So, of course, there's things here that can be kept working on. And right now, yeah, we have open issues with open PRs that will get merged hopefully this week. And one of them is the tutorial, which is super nice, having the docs for the tutorial. But yeah, it's looking quite well.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a very nice experience working for GsoC. So thank you, GsoC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I suppose with this, we can call it a community meeting for today. As always, if you are listening to this recorded, yeah, come in and also come join us on Slack if you have any questions or topics that you would like to talk about. With that said, many thanks and see you in the next one.
See you guys. Bye-bye.